Howdy, Austin Orange Slinger here. I was just thinking about ancient history. I'm not sure, how ancient I'm going with this, but it has a lot to do with how Christianity and Catholicism, they basically they took hold in the world as like the major religious option for people. And I'm looking back in time, something a friend of mine said sat in my head with it a little bit, and I got to thinking about it. Said that all we know about Norse paganism was written down by Christian monks a long time ago, right? And I got to thinking about that. And I have this suspicion that those Christian monks were secret pagans. They had to be. Alright, now if you think back to the Culdees and those monks that were writing down these old religious texts when, Lindisfarne and, places like that were being raided, there were select, maybe not Lindisfarne, but the Culdees in specific, when they were getting raided, there were certain monks that were not harmed, not killed, not taken as slaves by the Vikings. And, little wink wink from the Vikings there, shh, do your thing, record the history and keep the text, They weren't harmed, taken as slaves or killed, anything like that. They were totally ignored. Back then, paganism, to be successful in other places other than places that were predominantly pagan, had to be secretive, So basically that makes the most sense to me. Is there's a strong possibility, very strong possibility, when you look at the evidence that is offered from the Culdees, that those Christian monks weren't very Christian. So I'm looking at old, pagan texts and everything, when they were writing down the sagas and the Eddas and all this, that they weren't doing this from a place of Christianity. And rightfully so, they had to keep hush-hush, right? It's, they probably saw what was coming, with a little bit, don't even need all that much foresight back then, I imagine, to see that, burning all the books and temples down and destroying all the pagan artifacts and evidence, just probably wouldn't sit right for people that were being forcibly converted. So putting some agents in to keep the history alive for the future generations of pagans to have their history to look back on, because like I've said before, there's no book that you can go out there and read that'll just convince you and make you a pagan. It's a journey of self-discovery. It requires a lot of homework and the desire to connect to your roots, but it's just how I've been looking at it lately. Is apparently all we know about this Norse paganism stuff is written down by Christian monks. In my opinion, they were secret pagans because there was a heavy price on being a pagan back then, and we're starting to see that more now, where paganism is just as under attack as Christianity is from every other place in the world, be it the Jews or the Muslims, or especially being a pagan or Christian man, but that's just a little weird observation and thought process I had here to kind of maybe it's just to justify to myself my spiritual choice, but it makes a lot of sense when you think about it. They would have to be secretly pagan to be pagan at all and succeed in keeping the history and the spirit alive back then. That's about all. I'm smoking GLP's Jackknife Plug. It's delicious. If you haven't tried it, do it. Lighting up with Mjolnir. Alright? Makes sense. Mjolnir, the electric hammer, makes sparks and fire. I love this lighter. Thanks for Revelation. You're a brother. Peace out, y'all.